Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Below the Line in an SOS emergency episode due to the news of Hollywood this week. My name is Andres Ramirez, and I'm here with my good friend, Mr. Zach Houston Scott. How are you, man?
Hey, doing pretty good. SOS. That's an interesting take for this episode, all things considered.
Well, I think there is quite a shakeup in the industry for the news to break the band aid. Netflix is no longer a big studio, I guess, quote unquote. It's
Well,
Paramount now.
they were a big studio. It's just their pursuit of purchasing Warner
IP.
Brothers, something that was on the front pages as the front runner for months now. They finally
Well, they were
backed out.
already negotiating with Congress.
Oh yeah, no, they were going through the steps and proceedings to conclude it, but no, they won. Paramount just kept persisting and kept raising its bid and money, and eventually money won out, and Netflix backed out as of yesterday. They made the full announcement. Like they had 4 days to match it too, and they just declined, saying that it was always a nice to have. It was never a must have. So very,
We'll see
very
about that.
yeah, we'll see how that turns
We'll
out.
see about that. Those kids from Stranger Things better get their acting together because they probably will be back before the 10th anniversary of Stranger Things.
Well, you're not going
Which
to watch the animated show in between season 2 and 3.
no, I will. But ironically, isn't the 10th anniversary happening this year? Because Stranger Things came out in 2016. So
Yeah,
that would make the anniversary 2026.
that's
Like
crazy.
the
10
10th
years.
anniversary would be this year.
Yeah, it is this year because it came out
So,
in 2006.
16. So I guess they might announce a sequel 10 years later. It's technically valid, I suppose.
Focus on the 90s because that seems to be what the big trend is nowadays, 90s and early 2000s stuff.
I mean, we'll see about that. I think it's a very intriguing thing. But let's start from the start. Like, how did this happen, Zach?
Well, it's like I said, they just kept throwing more money. Like they were getting investments from the Saudi Arabians and other investments, endorsement from its current political climate, and very much they kept persisting and pursuing it just to get the whole of Warner Brothers. And it paid off because they did not take no for an answer. They always just kept throwing more and more money, and eventually they finally did it. So yeah, very shocking though. I was kind of rooting for Warner Brother or Netflix because of this whole thing. If it were up to me, I think that they should have just stayed. But I understand why. Paramount is definitely the
Buying.
lagging. They're the lowest in terms of the major studios currently outputting films, television. Their streaming subscription service is growing. I'm not denying that. They are starting to get more and more good content, especially with Taylor Sheridan. And
But
I
he's
mean,
leaving, isn't he?
is he? I think he's still around. He just announced a new show that's coming out. Unless he's going to
Wasn't
Netflix.
he replaced by the Duffer Brothers, ironically? I think it was like
Maybe.
a swap where the Duffer Brothers signed a massive deal with Paramount that probably will amount to nothing. And I think he left for Netflix or
He's going to
maybe Warner.
Universal, actually. He's going to
Okay,
Universal.
Universal.
Because I
So
knew
I
there
guess
was
that's where the cool kids hang out because Nolan left for Universal.
everyone's leaving for Universal. They're the last original movie studio that I recommend.
Well, Disney is there, but Disney is like a machine IP money maker studio. Not that Universal is not, but I think Universal respects the craftsmanship of filmmaking a little bit more than Paramount or I guess Warner by extension now. And
Well,
Netflix is like a weird hybrid of everything.
if you asked me years ago before they were bought by Skydance if I think Paramount should have bought Warner, I would have been like, no, that's a cool merger. Like the two of them coming together and
Mhm.
trying something, especially in the early days of Paramount Plus. But with the Ellisons, you know very much that it's within reason that why they're doing this is just to appease the very powerful client. And I know we typically don't try to talk politics on the show,
Well,
folks, but
it's probably have to deal with like Stephen Colbert will never be back on air type of
no,
thing.
no, he won't. And not only that, like the company wanted all of Warner Brothers. Like if Netflix was going to
CNN
go forward, yep, CNN.
specifically.
That is why, in my opinion, they wanted this company is because CNN is a powerful news I can't talk right now.
Company. It's a
Company
news company.
with very left leaning beliefs and left leaning politics. And I know for a fact that now that they're under this new ownership, with the recent, like, I've just been
Well,
dabbling in this a bit with CBS News and how
and
it's
Fox.
concerning, and Fox, that right wing conservatism, at least in my
Well,
opinion.
let's go step by step. First of all, the deal has been announced, but like a couple of months, the deal for Netflix was announced. So this means nothing realistically.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was reported that Ted Sarantos went and met with the president of the United States to try and sweet the deal. Do you think that he got a reality check that maybe this deal was never going to go through? I
I
mean, for
think
Ted Sarantos, because Netflix stock today was not terrible. It was actually going up as far as I read a report early this morning. I don't know where it ended up being, but is this deal realistically possible even with Paramount? Because with Paramount it seems like it could break the antitrust laws more seriously, especially with elections coming up this year and the importance that they'll have to the US.
I would say so, yes. Their stock has risen to $95, up from 78, which was last week, as they were still pursuing the merger. But I think overall, he did go in to intend that he wanted to purchase and make his case known and the
Hmm.
specifics. But I think once he got out of that call and saw their initial bid and Paramount Warner Brothers favoring it, then they decided, okay, this is it. We're not going to do any more. And then it ended up being just kind of a nice to have rather than a must have. Because, yeah, offering or matching or surpassing their dollar amounts just does not seem feasible for a company that's
I
$1 trillion in debt.
understand that part. I guess what I'm asking to you is, the winner of a Netflix versus Paramount bidding war would have been Warner, because in each contract they would have to pay if they didn't manage to make the deal happen in Congress, with the antitrust laws. What I'm saying is, do you think the Paramount deal would go through, considering what it means to the antitrust monopoly law within the US
It is
and even within the world?
it is definitely more of a wait and see approach compared to this Fox buyout from Disney, because it does have to go through those levels. This is another merger that they themselves were put into when Skydance and Paramount were merging.
That's
So
different.
it is slightly similar though, because at the very least, Skydance was a privately owned company, but this is both publicly owned traded companies that, I mean, Netflix has already earned some money back from this whole deal, a $2.8 billion buyout that, came from the cancellation that Warner
Yeah.
gave them. Paramount had to
Hmm.
foot the bill for. But now it's more or less a wait and see to how they're going to essentially maneuver and talk, because Ellison has also promised that we're getting 30 films a year between Paramount and Warner Brothers released in theaters.
How?
Exactly
How?
how he's going
How?
to
That's not
utilize
even possible.
with AI,
Like
potentially, he
to
could mitigate it faster. But the thing is, a lot of jobs are going to be cut and redundant. And I don't feel like there's a lot of trust. I mean, you say how, but I mean, even today there was an announcement that former canceled writer Max Landis is now writing a new G.I. Joe film. So
oh my
I
god.
guess that's kind of the vibe they're going for, that late 90s early 2000s, like, controversial artist style that I
I
guess
mean, I
now is
guess
making a
Rush
bit of a
Hour
comeback.
is definitely happening.
Yeah, with Paramount distributing it, even though it's a
Well,
Warner owned franchise, all
I guess now
because
it doesn't really matter.
no, it doesn't matter anymore.
They own it now. Well, hypothetically, I mean, The thing it's interesting is what I'm saying is I think Skydance was a studio film, right? It was mainly studios. I think the issue with antitrust is the news specific all of those elements that are problematic perhaps towards how people will trust. And I think the streaming wars and this bubbling effect, will it happen? Will it explode? Because like companies are getting much more strict when it comes to um, password sharing and accessibility. Like if you use a VPN, sometimes they don't let you. I wonder if this deal is going to have an effect on how people even consume content at this point.
Well, it's definitely going to be a wait and see, but I do expect definitely a merger between Paramount Plus and HBO Max. Like it's going to fold into Paramount Plus. That's just a guarantee at this
HBO
point.
Max is such a better brand, though.
Yeah, but Paramount Plus is the one they want to push because they've invested so much of it into. And for what it's worth, I do like Paramount Plus's advertising because HBO Max is lousy with their marketing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, HBO Max has a stigma to it, like quality to it. Like, for example, I don't know, something like The Pit would work in Paramount Plus.
I think it could. I mean, you look at again the Taylor Sheridan shows like Yellowstone and 1923, Tulsa King, and they're pretty well put together. Even like the new Star Trek shows have a higher quality than that of something like Netflix, even where they kind of look cheap. Like the last season of Stranger Things, I'd argue
It's
looks
cheap.
worse. It is cheap, even though millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars was spent on it compared to something like hell, even the fourth SpongeBob movie theatrically looks better than that.
I wonder where that money went through. I mean, it seems like Netflix is in a pickle creatively because what do they have left as a studio? I mean, they don't have any IP, which I guess it's good for upcoming filmmakers, but that puts the industry such an amount of pressure.
Well,
Uh,
that's the other thing why apparently Paramount did want to purchase Warner was their IP. Like now we have Cartoon Network, the Looney Tunes and the SpongeBob characters now combined. Like they can
well, the
cross
multiverse
over.
of madness.
Yeah, apparently. Um, we've got the DC characters. Now they can interact with I don't know, Beavis and Butthead or um I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other
Tom
Paramount
Cruise
brands.
joins the
Tom Cruise,
DC.
yeah, Tom Cruise can now join the DC universe.
Am I?
Yeah, am I? That,
Well, a Quiet Place is technically part of them. I mean, Star Trek is kind of destroyed because recently the Star Trek show, the new one, apparently is
oh yeah,
terrible.
well, that's what you get for making Star Trek into 90210. That's like nobody asked for that.
Well, isn't there like a couple of Star Treks? One that it's supposed to be like Hogwarts or whatever, and I mean, it's one of the J.J. Abrams disciples. I don't know who is the guy in charge of Star Trek, but he seems to be running that hill for quite a long time.
Alex Kurtzman, yeah. He was one of the writers of Transformers and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like he
I
was a
guess that
big
makes
writer in the mid 2000s. With his partner Roberto Orci, who passed away last year. Rest in peace, by the way. And yeah, the guy's just not a very good screenwriter. For what
well.
it's worth, like if I were to do a quick ranking of all the Star Trek shows, I didn't like Discovery. I thought it started with promise, but it just went on too long and it was very emotionally terrible by the end, like just miserable. Picard started bad, but by the end, it became a
Season
worthy.
two was great. That's what I've
Season
heard.
2 and 3 were great. That was like the next generation send off that deserves a lot of praise. Strange New Worlds is the best Star Trek series in
Mm.
years. To me, it's fun. It captures what the series ideology was supposed to be. And it's just terrifically cast. Like, if they want to remake the original series again, this is where they need to take influence from. And they've had a couple animated series too, a couple on Nickelodeon that I've never watched, but Lower Decks has that weird Rick and Morty style animation and people like
Mm.
it. They think it's a fun inside joke take on the franchise. I think it would have been better as live action and more serious, but that's
Mhm.
just me. And then this show just is lousy because it's just a teen drama version of Star Trek nobody asked for. So, and it doesn't
Yeah,
look
that's what I've
good.
heard.
Yeah, it's just funny
Yeah,
because we talked about Paramount Plus shows looking good, but that one does not look good.
I think, I mean, for me, Paramount is an app that it's very rigid in how it works. Like, even though it's available in Mexico, because I have a US account, I cannot use it here. I have
Mm,
to use it to a VPN, but it half works. I hope that as they are becoming a global empire, they become more global in how doesn't matter where you pay it, let me watch it. Maybe
yeah,
not let me watch the live events, but the content, it's your content. It's available in both countries. I don't know. I think Paramount recently I've been experimenting with Peacock and I think it's way better than Paramount.
really, I've heard no one talk about Peacock. I mean, here it's kind of merged with Amazon Prime in Canada.
Hmm.
So, I mean,
Well,
that's just
Peacock, do you know why I subscribe to Peacock?
how come?
Do you want to try and guess?
Not for that Office spin-off paper, right?
No, 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 no. It was for a show that got a lot of hype last year, towards the end of the year,
Oh man.
with Dakota Fanning.
Oh geez, I think I know the one you're talking about.
It's all her fault. That's the name of the show. Like my family and I were bored during the holidays, and we kept it. We subscribed, and I kept it, and it's been quite fun experimenting with the app itself. Like I think there's a lot of good content. Um, like there's a new show with Emilia Clarke, called Ponies. It's decent. There's a really good thriller with Amanda Seyfried, but like it's all in Peacock. Nobody really has that.
No.
Like most people that subscribe to Peacock only do it because of The Office,
Yeah.
and that's their market. So I
Yeah, just
guess
old NBC shows.
Paramount Plus now will have Friends and The Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, it sounds that way. I mean, it'll be good competition for Hulu, especially because that's going to help drive
Disney
Disney.
Plus is a mess, though.
Yeah, I like it still, though. I like it.
They're good, but it's so Disney content, if you know what I mean. Like
Well,
everything
yeah, of
is
course.
Disneyfied. Like they don't have like a long-standing. Well, I guess they have How I Met Your Mother or something like that, but I don't think their content is that timeless, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it
For
makes
the
sense. It
exception of
makes
the
sense.
classic movies, but
But yeah,
personally, I don't know if the deal will go through. I think if Congress was giving a hard time to Ted Sarantos, I don't know if you said a clip of one of the senators asking him, "How are you going to make sure the content is not woke or whatever?" I think combining these could potentially reshape how the industry is seen, and I wouldn't be surprised if people go on strike to try and avoid it.
you mean like the writers who are still on strike with their own union are doing?
Well, I mean the actors. If there's a union that can potentially block this, is the actors. Because 30 films theatrically, that's insane. There's no way you can produce that
No,
in a
but like
year.
I said, he's gonna use AI to try and expedite this stuff, which I
But
mean,
even
who's
AI,
lousy?
even if you use AI, it's impossible to shoot 30 movies a year plus TV plus all the content that you want.
Yeah,
Like it's almost like the opposite of Netflix theatrical market because it's like how are you going to shoot this even TV like their biggest IP like Game of Thrones and Harry Potter, they cannot even shoot those back to back a year. They have to wait 2 years between seasons. How are you going to shoot Game of Thrones fast if HBO literally are the experts of shooting high budget TV? They've done it for years and they can't figure that one out. How are you going to force them to make House of the Dragon back to back? It's impossible. They can't. As much as they want to, they can't. So I'd be curious how they're going to do it. Maybe the positive thing is they might finally force George R. R. Martin to finish those books.
who knows at this point?
Maybe the new CEO is like, "Hey, man, you gotta finish this because we want to remake Game of Thrones, whether you like it or not. D&D really screwed this up, and we need to reboot the whole thing." That's funny. I
That
guess
is fun.
poor Ted Sarantos, but Stranger Things is back on the menu, boys.
So sorry, it is back in the
even,
menu.
even your dog agrees. That's funny. Should we talk Scream a little bit, Zach?
Yeah, definitely. With all this talk of Paramount, let's talk about one Paramount film that's come out this week. That's got a
Wes
bunch of
Craven,
yeah. What
started by
about
Wes
Wes
Craven.
Craven?
Was it Wes Craven, the
Yeah,
original?
he directed it. He did,
Yeah, it's his franchise, technically speaking, but not
even
anymore.
though he's been gone for the last decade, passed away, and yeah, just picking up the pieces left off. What are your thoughts overall on the franchise before I guess we talk about the seventh one?
Well, I have not seen Seventh because we are recording this on my behalf and behalf of all the fans of the podcast. Happy anniversary, Zach. Not with me, but with your soon to be wife.
I thought it
Uh,
was our anniversary. I mean, it's been 10 years since we met, so but thank you. I do
oh,
appreciate it. We're going
also
strong
our
and
anniversary.
yeah.
Technically, we're about to turn a year of making this podcast, believe it or not. I think it's next weekend. But yeah, we're recording this a day before. My thoughts on Scream is it's a fun franchise, but nothing serious. I'm not into the Scream lore. And to me, it's like an antithesis of what was popular with the 80s and 90s slasher films. In many ways, it's very similar to a scary movie because both follow the trope of comedy, but horror, but not as serious, if that makes sense. Especially
No,
the
it
first
does.
Scream movies,
Well, they're
like
definitely
that first
zeitgeist
one.
movies. They're periods. Like the first two are definitely late 90s staples, like the attitude, the look, the soundtrack, the way they're shot are definitely from that era. Similar with the third one, that one feels like an early 2000s meta film produced, and honestly Kevin Smith probably could have directed that one because it's very indie, the look of it.
Hmm?
Similar Scream 4, that probably captures like my teen years the best because it came out 2011 when I was a teenager. I don't know about you, but to me that's
Well,
just
we're
like
the same
how
age.
well, true, we are the same age. I don't know if it captured like your experience as a
Scream
4.
4. Honestly, I don't remember seeing this one.
Nobody does. Apparently, that's the one people seem to forget. And then 5 and 6, yeah, I do appreciate what they did with them. Kind of made their own thing. Like the fifth one really paid tribute to Wes Craven. I think they had a character named after him.
That's
And then,
2022, right?
yeah, that's the 2022 one. It came out
Well, it's
like
called
post,
Scream.
yeah, post Star Wars. Like it was a requel. They gave roles
It's a
to
soft
that.
reboot.
Yeah, soft reboots. So I
Yeah,
guess apparently what I'm told the seventh installment is like the Rise of Skywalker for the Scream franchise. It's just
that's
a
what I
big
hear.
difference.
I mean, some critics like John Campia hated it. Like, he's Canadian, so I don't know, but he
Yeah,
hated it.
do you feel a little bit of it is bias? Like just going in, like I like these movies, even like me reading the critics score, I'm still looking forward to it. It's not really deterring me from going out to watch it. But do you think they're just a little biased with all the behind the scenes stuff that happened during the making of this movie?
I do think there's bias, but I don't know. I think it's a film where apparently the third act is the thing that sucks, and the reveal of who is behind the mask. That's what I read. Like, I don't know who is or who isn't, because that's the surprise of the Scream movies. And I think if you spoil that, the movie makes no sense whatsoever. I think this film has a couple of things against it, and it's not even the Melissa Barrera thing, because she got cut of the film because of the Palestine controversy that she went through.
commented on.
I
Yeah,
I think the biggest loss of the film is Jenna Ortega not being in the film.
that I agree with. Because honestly, my biggest problem with the fifth one was the focus of Melissa Barrera. Like, she's in a new show with Simi Liu that I caught glimpses of, and it's pretty lousy. Like,
Oh,
both their
the one
performances.
in Peacock.
Yeah, the one in Peacock. I can't
I have
remember.
not seen that one.
It's
The
lousy.
Copenhagen Spile or
Just
something like that.
yes, terrible performances. And I said the same thing after I saw that fifth one. Just I liked everything about it except the focus on her and her character. And I see people online defend her saying that she's great. Her performance in six was better, and I'm like, yeah, you could argue it's better, but I the movie also gave us more Jenna Ortega, and that's what we wanted to see because she was such
Mhm.
a rising star. Like she did Scream, she was in Wednesday, she was in that movie X with Ty West. Just that was such a great year for her to come up, and now she's like working with Tim Burton on stuff more often, and she's got other movies planned, taking more serious, like all those A24 films, like that Death of a Unicorn with Paul Rudd. I want to see more of that side. So I don't blame her for coming back, but I also do think that it's a missed opportunity because she was one of the more interesting characters I was looking forward to seeing in the franchise.
The thing with Jenna, I think she's a phenomenal actress, but she's also very niche when it comes to the type of role she can get. And I think this was a perfect one for her. Like she works very well within the horror, and that's where she has found the most success. Because all the A24 movies you mentioned, as great as they are, she hasn't found the same audience that she has had with these type of films. I mean, obviously Wednesday, but Wednesday you could argue that it was a show made by Tim Burton. That's why she exploded when she did that show. And even season two was kind of like a dip down in quality and in everything. So who knows? I just think if this was meant to be a trilogy, the producers should have worked to conclude that story. But I don't know if this is meant to be a trilogy. I hope it is, but I also have heard that you might love it, you might hate it. It could be like the Last Jedi slash the Rise of Skywalker type of thing.
Very true. Very true.
Like Courtney Cox is back, right?
Yep, she's back in this one.
She's back again.
Yeah,
I mean, it could not be worse than I Know What You Did Last Summer.
yeah, and that was pretty lousy at the end. I remember. Ugh.
And McKenna Grace is back. Well, not back, but she has like yet another franchise.
Yeah,
So,
she's collecting them. I mean, she was cast as Daphne and Scooby Doo. Like she's working a lot with uh Matthew Lillard, who was also in
oh
Five
yeah,
Nights at Freddy's.
yeah, she won in that film, right? In Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, the second one, not the first one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's good.
Hmm. But
Like, I don't
yeah,
know. I
but
think
my
that's an
thoughts are
interesting film.
it is a very interesting film. But yeah, I am excited to see it. I do like all these movies. Like if I were to rank them quickly, like I really like the third one the most. I hot take, I thought it really had a lot of expose to talk about with Hollywood at the time. Not many people knew about, especially with the Harvey Weinstein controversy and what they do to actors after. I mean, hey, that's just really good meta commentary. Then I would do the fourth one just because it's very much a time capsule of it. The first one, the fifth one, the sixth one,
Mm-hmm.
and the second one, just because I think that's the only one that didn't really do anything new, mostly because it's script leaked and they had to rush it. And
Mm-hmm.
this is before I see the seventh one, so I can't really judge it. But a lot of people saying this is the worst one so far. But you never know. Maybe it'll be one of
And
my
I guess
favorites.
that's bad for Paramount to
Yeah.
circle back to that. Because I mean, they seem to struggle with franchises. And let's not forget, Paramount at some point They were the house of the MCU, and they let that go off because they started with the classic Avengers films.
They did.
Maybe it would have
Yeah,
been a different story.
it would have been. You never know. We would have been a different kind of Marvel.
It would have been a different. What's the word they use in the Loki show? Uh,
A
a
different universe.
timeline.
A
Yeah,
timeline,
it would
yeah.
be. Yeah, it would have been a different timeline colliding with the other timeline to create the multiverse of madness, doomsday thing, sort of explosion, a collision of timelines. I was gonna ask you, Pixar releases a new film, Hoppers. Are they screening it already in Canada?
Next week they are. I know they had some early screenings last weekend, and so far it's gotten pretty positive reviews. Considering last time we talked about it, you had no idea what I was talking
Now I
about.
know of it because they're playing it this weekend here. Like a
Really?
pre, it's like a pre-release, but it's like fairly available this weekend.
Oh, that's cool. Might need
But
to
but
go
I
check
think I
that
might
out.
wait for next week because it's like if I see it this week, what am I going to watch next week?
Exactly. And I hope
So
that does well. I think Pixar needs a win after Elio last year, which, I mean, that was a bit of a disappointment. I didn't mind it again when I saw it, but yeah, I'm hoping
they'll
this
have
one's
it
a
with
bit better.
Toy Story. Toy Story is going to be successful for sure. But I think that's an interesting film. It looks funny, but it doesn't look like Pixar at its best, if you know what I mean.
No, definitely. I think it's just the way these characters are designed personally. But I get it. They want to break out of the mold that they've had, so something
Yeah,
different.
it's rough though. Do you think Paramount will hire John Lasseter eventually? I mean, so do you think that the Max Landis film, the J.J.O. film, will actually get produced?
I don't know, actually. I really don't.
It's going to be so weird because it's going to be like the fifth G.I. Joe film we had in like less than a decade, and their fifth time trying to reboot that universe.
Yeah,
Because the last one was with Simu Liu, right?
I was. It was.
And
Or
that
no, it wasn't
no no
seemingly.
no, it was the guy from Crazy Rich Asians,
Yes, Henry Golding.
but he wanted to not wear the helmet or the mask,
Well,
so
it
he
was an
actually showed his
origin
face.
and talk quite a bit. So, yeah, that was a weird installment. I do remember watching it, and it felt very,
On G.I. Joe.
very on GI Joe. And it was released like when COVID was still kind of around, and it didn't make a
Yeah,
lot. So I don't know. I think this is a franchise that just. I mean, it makes sense why Paramount would want to bring back because it's of the times, and if they want to go for that boys audience like mentality or bring it back, then so be it.
I guess there's no other major news. Here, apparently, there's a new movie in Mexico made by Mexico, and apparently it's really good. It's an action-like John Wick film, which apparently is pretty rare. It is pretty rare in Mexico's filmmaking. So I am also trying to look forward to see that. It's called Vengeance,
Vengeance?
and the trailer looked interesting enough to maybe compel an audience. So we'll see about that one. And I guess in the gaming news, Resident Evil Requiem finally came out.
Yes, it did, and it's gotten rave reviews again.
I have not played it yet, but apparently it's really good. That's what I've heard. I've avoided seeing reviews because this is supposed to be like a game changing Resident Evil game. Yet they say the same thing. Like they said the same thing about Village. Well, since 6, it's been kind of lackluster. Well, 6 was lackluster, 7 was great, 8 was so so, and this one is supposed to be a throwback to Re 4. So I don't know.
Which is good. I mean, this franchise has seen a bit of a creative renaissance in gaming, not so much
Not
in
in movies.
television, but we'll talk about that when that comes again. But
When is Zack Gregor's film coming out? This year?
yes, it is coming out this year, and
So
apparently,
it's already been shot?
yes, it has already been shot. And
And I'm
apparently, I've been told that it's called The Resident. It's not called Resident Evil. So already, I'm just a little like nodding my head. All right, let's see what is going to come from this.
oh my god. Like he's a
Yeah,
good director, but why cannot they cannot adapt Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 2? Like just adapt one of those two games and you'll be fine. And then you can do Resident Evil 4. I mean, look at the success of the Mario movie. You adapt the game roughly, but enough nostalgia and enough Easter eggs for people to get it, and it's a huge success. But somehow with Resident Evil, that's a very hard thing to do. Instead of that, we got Mila Djokovic using her superpowers to fight Albert Wesker for like billion times.
yeah, so stupid. I mean, yeah, they've got their own fan base, but I don't know. I don't know.
I guess she got the most out of it. She even got a husband and a daughter, so good for her, I guess.
True.
But I think that's today's this week's episode. It's one last question, and I think it's worth discussing briefly before we log out. Do you think what happened with Paramount it's a dark thing for the industry, or are you more hopeful? Because I think I find it funny that now everybody wants Netflix when they didn't want Netflix. So, what are your thoughts? Are you waiting to see what happens, or are you in the negative side, or like the end of the world is coming type of vibe?
Well, it's not an end of the world. It's just a shift. Like, these things happen. We look back on companies that used to be on top of it, like United Artists, RKO Pictures of the early 20s and 30s. And yeah, I know these companies have been around for a long time, but we are getting ushered in new ones. Like, look at Amazon's slate. Look at last year. Apple had their biggest hit with F1.
F1.
Yeah, and now YouTube is going to start getting into movies apparently. Like with Iron Lung, that was apparently a backed project from YouTube that made a lot of money.
Really?
That's yep, I did more research into that. So, I mean, stuff like that is going to come and it's going to shift. So, if these companies want to survive, they have to merge. That's just the nature of it. But I get it. Change is never a good thing and people will lose jobs, and that's the unfortunate part that is going to happen is these mergers will take some time to really get into it and settle. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But for now, I'm in the camp of let's just find out what happens next.
I agree with you. And I think it's interesting you mentioned Apple. That's a very underrated studio. But within their underratedness, they already have a Best Picture Oscar and they have not even been working for a decade. So that's quite impressive. And they really support the filmmaker's vision when it comes through that. And I guess
I
you
agree.
can show an iPhone and you won't get sued by them. So I guess that's a benefit if you're a filmmaker working with them.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I agree with you. Let's see what happens. I am in the belief that maybe the deal won't go through because of the monopoly laws around the world, and it's such a huge shift in the industry that maybe Savslav is going to be the most benefited from all of this. If the deal doesn't go through, he's a multi-billionaire by that point.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You wanna sign us off, buddy?
Absolutely, man. He's Andres Ramirez. You can follow him at Jaro2096. I'm the Zach Houston. With those are our Instagram handles, and you can follow us on below the line underscore podcast, where we record every week. We talk about current state of the industry, movies, games, sometimes music, and we just tend to have fun and chill. So thanks for listening and enjoy the rest of your week. And yeah, let us know your thoughts on Scream if you decide to go watch it.
Bye bye.
Bye.